Hello everybody, and welcome to a Slay the Spire video. My name is Rayk, and if you're wondering exactly what this game is, Slay the Spire is a deck-building roguelite game where, as you progress through each of the particular levels in the Spire, you gain cards and you want to defeat bosses. So we collect our plate here. We're going to do a standard run. So we get to choose our character. We have 4 characters here. We have the Ironclad, the Silent, the Defect, and the Watcher. Today we're going to be doing the Silent, and let's get started. Hello again. This is our good friend Meow. This is a whale. We call this the whale bonus, so if you did well in your last run, you now get a little bit extra benefits based on what you started. So we have options here. So like traditional trading card games, you have different rarities of cards. There are uncommons, commons, and rares. So we could potentially gain a rare card. The first 3 enemies we meet have 1 HP. We could lose all of our gold. Gold is noted here. You can use that to buy stuff at shops and or at events. You can get a rare card to choose or lose our starting relic, which is the Ring of the Snake. At the start of each combat, we get to draw 2 Chanel cards to obtain a random boss relic. So this is our starting deck. We have cards that deal damage and cards that block. You start with 3 energy a turn, and you try to kill everything and do your events before you beat the boss. So if you look here, this is our map. So part of this game is mapping, so you get to see exactly where you want to go. So we have a couple different kinds of things. We have the unknown. This is where events or maybe shops or anything could really happen. This is a merchant, which means you can buy stuff. It says that on the lower right here. You can spend your gold there. You have treasure, which is up in the middle. This is what gives you relics. Relics are permanent effects that help you continue your journey up the spire. Rests. These are campsites, so you can use this to heal or upgrade, and some relics let you do some other fun stuff. An enemy is your bread and butter. These are just the standard things you encounter as you're trying to climb the spire. And then the elites, which are harder enemies but give extra rewards. So as we look here, we want to see if we can get an equal number of, say, enemies, because you want to get enough card rewards to be able to complete the next thing. And you also want a number of events, because some of the events in the game can be pretty decent. So notably, as we're looking at our pathing here, we do see that we have to start with a fight. You always start with a fight, and then you got to figure out the rest of what you want to do. We are unfortunate that we will never end up with really a campfire before an elite, because that lets you gear up either by getting your health back, because if you lose all your health, your run ends, or get an extra upgrade on one of your cards. So as we're looking here, probably the most desirable path here is going this way, because we get our campfire, elite, campfire, and then a second elite up here before our boss, which is named the Guardian. You can tell what boss it is, and we'll probably get to see the others in later videos by what image this is for each of the acts. And there are 3 acts in this game, and each video is going to be an act. So let's go back. So based on what we see here, 1, 2, 3, nope, can't do that. I could get a random rare card, or I could obtain a random boss relic. I think at this point we probably want to do the boss relic swap, because nothing else is particularly appealing, and we don't want to lose our gold before the store. So we got a house. We got a potion, which is pretty decent. These are consumables you can use during your fight to do stuff, and we get a card reward. We probably should front load our damage a little bit, so we picked up a backstab. Innate means that it starts each combat in your hand. So let's go. Let's see, we got a small slime and a medium slime. So all we can do here is we can heal the small slime. So as you see, as you play cards, that's your energy cost up here. So then you end up, so you want to try and make sure you don't take damage. So weak makes it so that you and your enemies can do 25% less damage for the number of weak stacks. So let's see here, let's go block, and then we can go strike. Strike. So they put a slimed into our deck, which is not something we want, but we get to kill them this turn anyway. So we get a little bit of gold, we get a card reward, and since we're still early, we're still looking for a little bit more damage to make sure we can actually kill our elites. And Poison Stab is probably a little bit better here out of the 2, considering we have Backstab. Ooh, transform a card. Let's get rid of a strike. And another poison stab. Okay. Let's see what we got in here. I don't have a skewer, which is a card that says X means that you use all of your energy in one turn. So we're going to see what we want to buy here. We probably don't really need to buy anything, except we're just going to remove a strike, as at least in this game, the strike is the worst scaling card in the game as you move up the spire. So this is an enemy that works on the idea that it wants to scale every turn. So every turn, they gain 3 strength, which means that it deals 3 more damage every turn. And they are dead. Oh no, I miscounted by 1. Well, that happens sometimes. You miscount. Math is hard, it turns out. So what do I want here? I probably want a block card at this point, so Cloak and Dagger is pretty passable over these other ones. The other benefit to Cloak and Dagger is that it makes a shiv, which means that you get to deal 4 damage as well as block for 6. Let's go to our next fight. Pretty sure I can't kill either of these, so I'm incentivized to hit that one because now anything can kill that. Oh, okay. I can kill that one. I could not kill the other one due to the amount of block it had. And now that one is also dead because poison. So that means at the start of each turn you deal that much damage to it for the number of poison stacks, and then you reduce it by 1. So it says 5 health and 6 poison stacks. It dies before it gets its turn off. I'm probably going to skip here. You don't want to add cards all the time because then the deck gets too bloated. We're kind of looking for a card that draws cards at some point, so we're going to see exactly how that goes. But none of these cards do that, and we're not particularly strapped on energy right now. So we're going to smith, which means you get to upgrade a card. We probably want to upgrade Poison Stab here, because we're playing against a enemy called a Gremlin Knob up in this fight, or a Lagavulin. That is a little bit more desirable, though this fight is a problem. Because there's just a lot of enemies and you don't necessarily have a lot to do right now, but fortunately, we managed to block for enough. But we're weak, which means we deal less damage, which means killing all these is going to be a lot more difficult than normal. So fortunately, get to kill that one. I guess I just blocked twice. Yep, I got to take 1. Three, so that's 4, so that's 2, so that means I can hit for that, so that one now dies. Then I can stab these other ones as well to get rid of those. Okay, this was a pretty clean slime mob fight. Definitely could have been a lot worse. Got an extra potion, and then Blade Dance. Blade Dance was really good, also Predator is really good. I think with the amount of damage we have, I'm pretty sure we want a Predator because you want to have more options on any given turn. So Predator gets a lot of extra benefits for that. So here we're just going to play all 3 of our cards, because our good friend the Gremlin Knob ain't doing a whole lot until this turn. So the shtick with Gremlin Knob is that every time you play a skill, so cards are classed as skill, powers, or attacks, they gain 2 strength. So you want to try to avoid playing those and just kill Gremlin Knob as fast as you can. So now he gives you vulnerable. So this would be 6 plus 6 plus 8 plus 3. So let's start with 3. So 6 plus 8 is 14, plus 7 is 21. They are currently at 27. I have 3 damage, that means I can do 28, which is enough. Yep, 6 plus 9, and that is exactsies. And we beat the Gremlin Knob. We get Preserved Insect, which means that we are incentivized to fight more elites. Acrobatics is exactly the kind of card we're looking for. It is a little early for one, considering the amount of energy we have, but let's go with that. So in this particular case, we get a Regal Pillow. Whenever you rest, you heal an additional 15 HP, as normally when you rest, you only get a certain percentage here. We don't need to rest yet. We got plenty of health. So let's smith here. Let's get this Predator up to 20 damage, which is a very big number. So this is a Slaver. This is Blue Slaver. And I need to block for 7, which I can do by playing the Survivor. So that means I want to play these cards instead and then block here. Now they have 20 health. That means if I draw, I got weakened. So that means I actually have to block a little bit more than I would normally want to. So in this case, the enemy's just dealing 12 damage. I can just hit them for 20, and that ends the combat. Do I like a skill portion more than a Blessing of the Forge? Ghost in the Jar is really good, so I'm more incentivized to get rid of one of these two if I think the skill potion is better. I believe it is better than upgrading the cards in my hand. I get an After Image pretty early. Plays pretty well with Cloak and Dagger and Backstab. Though I don't think this is quite an After Image deck yet, so I am just going to skip. For reference, the After Image says whenever you play a card, gain 1 block, so even the cards that cost 0 also gain you a block. So you want a deck that plays a lot of cards for this particular card to work. Oh, I'm 1 off. That's mildly disappointing. So I can't block for 10. The question is, can I kill this one? So I deal 20 plus 12, which is 32, plus 11, which is not enough. 32 plus 11 is 43, not 46. So I am then incentivized to do this to kill the louse, block once, and then hit this guy for 10. So this guy steals 15 gold every time he hits me, which is not great because that means I got less gold for stores. So let's see. 9. Let's see what we hit here. Okay, we got a poison stab. I will be willing to take 1 here to try and kill this guy on the next turn, which is pretty good. And we get to kill the guy on the next turn. Ancient Pot, I don't necessarily need. We get a backflip and a deflect. At this point with the acrobatics, the deflect gets a lot better, so we'll be picking that. And we're going to go fight this lead. Ooh, we got a store. I am going to buy a card remove and a dexterity. So if you gain, or footwork, if you gain dexterity, that means your blocks now count for 2 more. So I'm going to remove a strike, and I'm going to buy a dexterity. Because that is a permanent effect for the length of the fight. Okay. Let's try and kill the back one here, because it has the lowest health. The thing with the sentries is that every turn, these ones are going to put bad cards into your deck that do nothing. And then they alternate shooting which ones are going to try to damage you. So now, we're going to kill that one. We are going to block for 9, which is enough, and then hit that one to make it lose its artifact charge, which negates a debuff. So in this particular case, we're going to play a footwork. We're going to play a cloak and dagger to make sure that we get a reasonable amount of damage done here to start working on this one, and we take 1 in this elite fight so far. So you know, this is exactly where this gets kind of messy, because now you're drawing cards that don't do anything once your deck reshuffles into your draw pile. And I don't want to play this card because then he discards the Daze, which doesn't get back into my deck, which is not particularly desirable. So I get to kill that one, and I get to hit this one for 20, and we'll see how the next turn goes. We should be able to kill this next turn, and as it stands, we actually are not, but we are always guaranteed to draw the strike, because you can look in our draw pile to see it. So I can draw that card, discard a defend, and deal 9 to kill. Lantern, at the start of each combat, we get 1 extra, which is pretty good. That's the second After Image. I still don't think we want that. We don't really have the kind of deck for that right now. And now we get to go to our last bonfire before the last boss of this act. So we're going to Smith. We got plenty of health. Let's going to upgrade our footwork, which means we get to block a lot better. Now we get to go fight the Guardian. So the thing with the Guardian here, as you see as I mouse over him, you see his name. Every 30 damage, he changes modes that he's in. So we want to try and deal as much damage as we can each time we do this, so that we are able to start bouncing him in between modes. Now the key thing is when he's in his defensive mode, he actually deals damage to you when you attack. So he's dealing 9. If I choose to attack, I can't break through the block, but if I chose to, I get dealt 3 damage back, but I still don't take anything because I have 12 block left. So I'm going to go block here, neutralize so we only get dealt 12. And will I take damage? Yeah, I'll take a little bit of damage to deal 20 here. Seems pretty good. because I also get to draw 2 extra cards in my next turn. So 40 damage here. I get to block for 7 at least. So let's start with that. And I get to go... That's enough. And then I get to hit with Predator again. So I take 2 here. But I also... He doesn't need a whole lot here to try and get past that. I can neutralize to apply 1 weak, but he's going to be dealt more damage if I strike first before he transforms, because he puts armor up when he transforms. So now we're going to end up here. We got to defend a little bit. Then I can also hit with Predator again and pass the turn because I don't have any energy left. 8 block here. We get to neutralize, and then we get to defend again. And we have just enough to be able to Cloak and Dagger and hit for 4. So I got to do that. Now let's play an Acrobatics. So I have 2 energy left. They're going to be dealing me 12, so I can block for 7, so I can block for 15, which means I can also attack with a Poison Stab, which is pretty good. Just dealing 10 damage a turn here with this passive damage. I want to go Poison Stab Predator, and then this will roll over. And now they are exactly dead. I don't even have to attack. And then we end the turn. So we have to add 1 special card to our deck. We're going to play first because we got a couple skills we like to play multiple times. Like Acrobatics is pretty good, and then we can pick up more later. This one is just really hard to set up, and this one just isn't particularly that good. Whoop. And now, let's go choose a relic. So Sozu, we don't... At the start, we can't get any more potions. We can't get any more money, but we start with an extra energy, or we can't play more than 6 cards. Now, as it stands, this deck is... Especially with Burst, is not particularly like the Velvet Choker, and Gold is just too good. I think we can probably do a lot with these 3 potions. So in this case, I'm just going to pick Zozu and be mildly disappointed that we're not going to post for the rest of the run. So now we get to see, so this is just a preview of what's going to happen in the next episode, and this is where I'll be stopping for today. So thank you all for watching, and please remember to like and subscribe so that you can see more of this kind of content or any of the other of Furry Valley's content in the future. Thank you all for watching.